welcome to the session. Like you heard before from Shilpa, that we have AI session here again. I mean, not only AI, but we will use AI in instant response. So let's do that. As usual, we will have, as usual, if you've been to previous sessions that I delivered, a few of them. So you will see some demos, a bit of slides, and also some information about me. So that's me, consultant, instructor, conference speaker. I have some EC Council certs like CH, CPANT, LPT, cloud security engineer, also instructor, so that kind of stuff. So I will give you, as I said before, many live demos today. I'll try to be on time as well. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to use AI from Microsoft. Sorry for that, but I need to use some example. It might be ChatGPT, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, whatever. But for me personally, Microsoft is like the easiest way to show because I'm covered, equipped with all of the licenses. But you can replace what I'm showing with anything you like, because generally speaking, they are all based on the large language models, and it will work in the same manner or similarly with another vendor. So you can just take stuff directly from OpenAI. You can use ChatGPT. You can use models provided by OpenAI directly. So you have choices. But what we're going to do? Then we're going to talk a bit first how we can use AI in the security operations, like simple, like already available to your applications like ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever. But then we'll take a look how can we take the model itself, large language model, and use some workflows that will send the request to this model. To send the information from incidents to the model and ask for actions. And so you can automatically take action based on the large language model opinion and decision. Then we're going to also bring some new information to and teach the model, not really teach the model, but really enhance the response with our own data. So as I said before, that will be like kind of heavy with demos and so forth sessions. So I'm going to start right away because there's so much stuff we need to cover. First of all, I guess this one, for anyone who already work in security or especially in incident response, detection response, whatever, you probably already do this, what I'm showing you here on the screen. So you are using generative AI when you deal with the incidents or with anything that you may not be aware of or not sure about. So you may send to ChatGPT or again whatever you prefer to use, like Gemini, Copilot. That will be up to you. So you send some kind of commands or some kind of scripts that you may not fully understand and ask to explain, or vice versa. You may ask this program, this application, to write the code for you, write the script for you, write some kind of query for you. Usually when you ask them to write, it may not be that perfect because it may hallucinate and create some commands, operators, whatever, that do not exist. But when it comes to incident management, and you have like some kind of incident, you're not sure about if the script, what the script is doing that was involved into incident, you may ask for explanation, and explanation works very well. So here I'm going to use Copilot, which is again Microsoft generative AI application. But what is important here to highlight why I'm using here Copilot and not something else. Because in case of Copilot, if you are using corporate credentials, if your company has Office 365 or whatever, and even if you didn't pay extra for Copilot, but you do have like Office 365, you also have the way to log in with your corporate credentials, and that will give you extra privacy. Let me quickly show you what I mean here. I'm going to quickly open Copilot Chat on my another screen. Just give me a second. So that's correct. Here it is. So here's the Copilot Chat. What is important here is that I have extra privacy protection, so called enterprise data protection, and all the things that I'm going to share with this chat will not be used for enhancing the model. So you may read more about that. What does it mean, enterprise data protection? So different subscriptions of the ChatGPT and so forth, they also have something similar when your data will not be used for training purposes, like more protection, retention, and so on. So also it will be integrated with my corporate security if I do have data classification, labeling, and so forth. It may respect my classified data. It do not process my classified data. So if I have corporate service, it will enhance my security even by that. But again, let's just move back to our AI application. And so let's assume that I have some kind of incident where I need to do some analysis of scripts. Because let me move back the slide. So one of the really good thing is to do analysis of your scripts, the code that may be involved into incident. Quite often it's scripts. So if you like looking for incident and you see that there was a command or something like that, and you may not sure what exactly it's doing, because it might be just single line, but maybe multiple lines, and especially if this guy's download, if the command from the incident download some code that need to be then executed, and this code might be quite long. So what I would like to do, I would like to quickly send you, show you one of the payloads. So this one is the code that we're going to analyze. That's the one payload, and one more will be this one. So let me start from more simple, because this one which is more simple, it's a bit easier to analyze. Let me also open it with in Visual Studio Code, where I can sort it more better. So it will have some highlights, and let me quickly take a look what it's doing. So let's try to understand what this code is doing. If you briefly look at this, you can see that something like XOR, at least that's the variable name, then it encodes, and then base64 and download from this blob, and then it decode, decrypt, and run it. So it seems like that. But to understand that, first of all, I need to know how it works, and it will still take time for me. So it's not rocket science, so still I can do it pretty quickly. But let me try to ask Copilot. Let me copy that and send it to our generative AI. So explain this script and send that. Trying to get a quick answer. Usually it's quicker than the answer I'm currently waiting for. Usually it's quicker. Okay, so I still got it. And now it's broken down this line by line, explain me every piece, what this guy is doing. So here we have XOR encryption, XOR key, the blob that like the URI for the blob that for download that we're called download from, base64 encoding, decoding, and then execution of this decode and decrypted text. So then we can take a look what will happen in the end. So this is classic fireless execution pattern. Code is fetched, decoded, decrypted in memory, and then executed without writing to disk. And then explains again what this command is doing. Of course, it did not run the command. It doesn't know what exactly will happen, but it looks like some kind of fileless attack when we try not to touch the disk and just just download something and execute. All right, so then let's take a look at the code that will be actually executed. So this one was not that complicated. We can still do it manually, right? But if we look at the code, which will be much longer, let me also open it in Visual Studio Code, which will have a bit more nice colors. And here, so this guy will take more time for me to understand what it's doing, because that's the long code. I can see here something with processes, allocation, and yeah, that's something that deal with processes. Use typical API calls like virtual alloc, but still it will take a lot of time for me to understand what this guy is doing. So let me try to do the same with AI. I'm gonna clear the memory, and now I would like to copy this and send into AI. So normally, most of the time, when I send a code like this, it may say, "Oh, it's too much. It's too much." I can try now, but there's still the chance that it might say that's too much stuff. Okay, it's not too bad. But also, if that's too much, I can also click on that and upload file and just upload the code. Let's wait for the result. You know what? I didn't add the key phrase, like explain what this guy is doing, what this code is doing. So let's wait for the result, because now I'm wondering what will be the result. What is gonna tell me if I just send the code without asking for anything, so without the goal. Maybe it will tell me how to improve the script. Make it safe recommendation. Yeah, so let me stop that because it might take a bit. And let's ask explain this code, and then I'm going to send it again. And now again in something like 16 seconds, it should get back to me and explain what this code was doing. Hopefully. So while waiting for this, I can just say that this Copilot chat is totally free, has extra privacy protection, and I guess you are using that on a daily basis yourself. So it's not something that totally new for you. You are using ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, whatever. Like based on your preferences, they provide a similar result. Okay, let me check again if I already have results. Okay, so, and here it's explaining. First, give me a big picture. So, so it runs Notepad, but hide it into. So it opens so starts Notepad hidden, opens handle to process and perform process injection. So allocates memory in Notepad and writes shell code into this process. So generally speaking, that's the process injection of the shell code. And I can also find line by line what each line means. And then give me a summary what this guy is doing. So script injects shellcode into a hidden notepad and executes via remote thread. So the shellcode appears to perform HTTP operations. It's not really bad. Then runs SMB's reconnaissance against domain controllers. And so, yeah, it's only for test purposes, so it will not make any damage. But it was really quick compared to how it could be if I do it myself. And it's free, and you probably use that on your daily basis. Maybe not Copilot specifically, but other applications. All right, so now I would like to move from that because that was obvious. I would like to move to solutions that now many vendors already offer in, not only Microsoft, but also other vendors, like Splunk and so on, Palo Alto. They do have built-in AI that will help with incident investigation. In case of Microsoft, called Security Copilot, but there are other AI agents, AI applications available for other vendors. So what we can do here, in this case, in case of the special agent, we may access data right away. So we don't need to upload any kind of scripts. We don't need to, we can upload script. But what if we would like to make investigation or threat hunting, and based on the logs that we have collected? It's a lot of logs, and I cannot upload all the logs into some kind of Copilot. So into like Copilot, ChatGPT or whatever. So, but this guy, the the built-in agent, already have access to my logs. It knows about my data. It knows about all of those millions, billions, whatever terabytes, exabytes of logs you have, and will be able to analyze them and give you some insights based on the data you have in your SIEM system. So let me quickly take a look at this. What may be downside? Those agents not always cheap. So they may be available for you in the like a premium subscription. So maybe you need to pay them on top because of the because you don't have a premium subscription, but you pay on top of them, on top of your current subscription. So it might be not always cheap. But over time, when AI operations become more common, price might get changed. But currently, since AI costs some kind of money, so also those vendors, they try to monetize these built-in agents. So let me quickly show you that. I'm going to my portal where I have my incidents. And here, again, it might be any kind of SIEM system. So if you prefer Splunk, if you prefer, or you may not use SIEM system, you use maybe some EDR from other vendors, that's fine. So it's just an example. I'm showing you here approach. So here I have a couple of incidents. Let me try to look back in for 6 months or so, and I will find the incident with 43 alerts. Let me click on that. So here I have incident. Let me quickly show you while Copilot trying to help me. Let me quickly show you that I have number of alerts in the single incidents with leaving of the land binaries, suspicious WMI, process creation, potential human operated malicious activity, and some MZ bypass. And if I scroll down, I will find more like W-digest was changed, malicious PowerShell at movement, Bloodhound, and lots of other malicious activity. So investigate this incident might be attacks on certificate services. Investigate this incident might be not very easy. Of course, this one is not really realistic because if you are working with incident response, you know that if company has some policies, then probably you will detect it more or less quick, and attacker will not be able to perform that much. I was not limited, and so I even tried to generate as much as I could. Also, if you heard of APTs, advanced persistent threats, they try to move under the radar, but my goal here was to have more alerts rather than less. Anyway, so if you look at the entities involved, like users, devices, it's really hard to untangle all of that and understand what happened, who started all of this process, and so on. So, but AI can help me to simplify it a bit. If you look on the right-hand side, first it gave me a summary. So it gave me high-level summary what's going on, like when the occur, what kind of entities involved, what users, devices, then what kind of response was already provided. So I had some automated response when the accounts were disabled and devices isolated. Then it explained me how attack started, like from the beginning. So attack began with suspicious LDAP query and PowerShell execution on the device Win11 McAfee by user Michael Smith, M. Smith. And that started from Excel. So Excel triggered PowerShell, and something happened after this. And so it takes me through, maybe not every single alert, but it takes me through the kill chain and explains what happened after that and what happened in the end as well. So that was the explanation of the summary of the incident. And here, much quicker, I can understand what actually happened, especially for the multi-stage incident that, where the kill chain is reflected. And also, if I scroll down, I can find here, what should I do next? So maybe next step will be classification, but because this is my previous incident, I already classified that. So because it was classified, now that what I have left is to do containment. So it offers me to contain the devices, isolate them from the network, also disable user accounts, reset passwords for users because they seem to be compromised. Actually, they're not. It might like my testing, but anyway. So AI here is trying to give me ideas what to do with the incident. It also has the options to work with scripts and so on. So it has a number of things. If I look at the, let's say, suspicious PowerShell download on code command, I can click on the alert itself. And if I scroll down, I can find, let me expand that. I can actually find the commands, click on analyze, and then it will explain me what this command is doing. Honestly, I can, in the same manner, I can copy that and copy that, paste into Copilot that was free, and use it from there. So I don't have to do that from here. But just if you already have this tool, why not to use it also as well, right? In the investigation interface without copy paste. Quite often company have concerns about privacy of all of those copy paste, so they don't want to take the data out of system and paste it somewhere. So that may also help. All right, so that quickly about the agent already built in. I don't want to go too deep into that because again, it's quite straightforward. So it costs money and straightforward. That's why there's nothing we really need to go deep in, because there's nothing we can really configure. Yeah, we can use it, we can do it on different operations, but it's easy if you have this agent deployed, and impossible if you don't have it at all. So that's why I would like to show you some kind of custom solution that we can use, that I'm going to use to automate incident response, and it will be very cheap. I will use here, I will host OpenAI model for that, and I will do it in Azure, but it doesn't have to be in Azure. You can do it in OpenAI itself. You probably know that in OpenAI, you can pay a small fee. It may not be small if you use it extensively. You can pay a fee, and then you can send API request to the model, and the model will return you a response. So in my case, I will host those models in Azure, but again, it might be hosted in OpenAI. So and in Azure, we use the tool AI Foundry, where we can pick up the model. So let me quickly show you that. If I look at the AI Foundry, I can click on the model catalog, and here I will be able to find lots of different models. So DeepSeek, GPT models, and so forth. So here I just need to choose the model I would like to deploy, and grok model, and so on, different versions of GPT, different sizes of GPT. So I choose the model to deploy. In my case, I took OpenAI model. And again, you can just take those models directly from OpenAI. I mean, they can be hosted in OpenAI data centers, and you will just pay a fee for using them as well. So either way, in my case, I'm using them in Azure because in this case, it will be for me cheaper than host them in OpenAI. So now what we need to do, we need to send appropriate request with our instant information to the model and ask for actions. So how I'm going to do this? I will deploy them. I deploy the OpenAI GPT something model. In my case, I have deployed 4.1, but it can be model 5. Like newer model usually have more accurate response. And in this case, I will pay only for tokens. I don't pay for the for kind of hosting fee. I'm just paying for the tokens, which means I pay for the prompt that were sent to the model and the response that model returned. So I host the model, and then I need to build the automate workflow that will take my information about my incident and send it to OpenAI and ask for what OpenAI is thinking about to the model, and what OpenAI is thinking about this incident, and then take some actions. So for that, you can use different automation tools. So depends what you prefer. You may use like different different open source or vendor-based tools for automation. You just need to build a workflow. In my case, I build a workflow. I built everything in the Azure cloud, so for me it's all there. And let me quickly show you that. First of all, I deploy the model from OpenAI, so it's GPT 4.1, and let's just test without automation at this point. Let's just test what will happen if I send some kind of prompts to this model. Let's ask something like this. Tell me about company EC Council. So now, not unrelated to our incident, just about that. And now it just gave me a response. So it looks like it works. So it gave me the response. It's quite generic. Now let's try to make it more incident oriented. For that, I would like to set up a system message. If you never heard of system message, so here on the top left, you may find this. You are an AI assistant that helps people find information. Okay, so let me change that to something like you are Yoda. Speak like Yoda. Let me apply changes, and let's ask the same question about EC Council. Let me first clear the screen, clear memory, and ask the same question, and let's see what will be the difference. And you can see it's different, right? Compare how it used to be. So system message, that's how we can control like a role that this model will wear, like a mask. So in my case, I would like to set up a role that will be security, like instant response oriented, and it will look like this. As instant response expert, your role will be provide guidance on instant response and recovery techniques to mitigate potential risk. Your response should have this structure, and I have like a summary, containment, and the key question that I will use in my workflow for automation: should I isolate this device from network? Yes or no? And then how should I recover? Let me clear the screen here, and let me send the text of typical incident, I mean, very simple incident about a tool called Netcat. I guess most people here that are here heard of Netcat, which is kind of well-known tool to establish reverse shell or just establish shell. And let me ask, what should I do with Netcat? What if incident was about Netcat? What will be the advice? So, and here model told me that, gave me a summary about incident, how should I contain, and the key question I asked, should I isolate device from the network? It says yes, even if in my case Defender antivirus blocked Netcat, the presence of Netcat, it means that something still happened. So if Netcat was blocked, then means the attacker somehow was able to drop Netcat, which might mean that the guy is still there. So, and we'll take the response like yes into our automate workflow, and based on this response, we'll make a decision about isolation, about network isolation, about containment. All right, so that's the response from AI on the incident, and now it's time to take all the pieces together and collect them into a single workflow. Please keep in mind that responses from OpenAI, they will be in JSON format. So I will have to parse them a number of times. And let me quickly show you how I built my workflow. Again, it's just an example. You can build your automation based on the tools that you are using, but quite often they will be also used on the. I mean, the idea will be kind of similar, that you need to send lots of API requests. So here I'm running my workflow based on schedule, not because I think that's the best idea to do it on schedule, but because it's the best for demos. Normally in your production, if you want to do it, you do it based on the incident that was occurred. So when there's a new incident, you need to send the API request. So it's like depends how your system, where you have your incident management, how it can handle what kind of event it can send. So in my case, I'm doing that on recurrence every something minutes, just because it's nice for demos. I can start it from, I can even turn on, not yet turned on, later on. So I can run it on recurrence and get information about alerts from my system. Then, because it was the API request, I need to parse it, and for each alert, I will send OpenAI request. I will send OpenAI request where I need to include my key. I will show that for a second. By the way, they will not work after the webinar, so that's the request I sent. You can see it in JSON format, where I specify the system message and the system message you saw before, and I specify the title and description of the incident that I got in my SIEM system. And you may ask where it came from. Previously, I took them using previous request about where I got alerts, and now I just I use them as variables. So the alert title is title, and the alert description is description. That's the variables. So I send it to my model, and I receive the response in JSON format. Of course, I need to parse it, and then I add condition where I say if I found a yes between all of those, between those two hashes, I will isolate this device. So device isolation, in my case, it's based on the my workflow, or I already have existing action. In your case, depends on your system. You may need to send another API request, and where you need to include the device name or device number, device identifier, and isolate it automatically. So here, the actual things that you need to configure might be different, but I just want to share the idea how it can be done. All right, so now let's see it in action. What I would like to do, I would like to turn on my my workflow, and I would like to simulate very simple incident. So here I have workstation, and I will drop netcat. Let's take netcat 64, copy that, drop here. Antivirus react very quickly, and in the I can't guarantee anything how fast it will appear in my SIEM system. Might be in a minute, might be later, might take longer. Usually it's quite quick. But for now, let me check. Going back to incidents, going back to my incidents, take a look what I have today. At this point, I don't have netcat. Fresh. Nothing so far. And nothing so far. Let me go to alerts. And so let's take a look. Yeah, one day alerts. Still nothing about netcat. Okay, so we have netcat. Now let's go back to incidents. It doesn't matter. So alerts, incidents. So I got it. So there should be a new incident. Yeah, netcat tool was prevented. We got incident. Now what I would like to do, I would like to just manually, without waiting for 15 minutes, I would like to manually start my workflow. And let's see. Fingers crossed it's running. And let's see what happened with the device. Oh, look at this. Network disabled. So your administrator caused, in my case, my EDR system, to disable network connection to this device. I will still see the device because it's Hyper-V console. It's not dependent on the network. But if I try to navigate somewhere, I don't know, DuckDuckGo, it's not working because network connection was dropped, and now if attacker is still there, was remotely, like had a reverse shell or beacon, now it was dropped. And it's not working anymore. Yep. So, success. And the decision was made by OpenAI. The only one thing I would like to add here is that we can also feed our own data into this workflow, because the possible problem that the model may not be aware of the latest threats, may not be aware of the current modern threats that were or vulnerabilities released just a couple of days ago. Exploits, vulnerabilities, and also it may not know that some kind of tools may be used by your company already. So we may add the context, and in this case we can use what is called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Retrieval augmented generation, that's the way to bring our own data into this process of prompting and returning the result. So in this case, what will happen when user prompt was sent? It will not your AI application will not only send the prompt to the model, but it will also gather additional information from the data source. Maybe like Wikipedia, but of course not Wikipedia. It will be your corporate knowledge base, and find out like keywords and some related to the question that user asking about. And then altogether, new information from knowledge base and the user prompt will be sent together into the model, so model will be able to make better decisions. Let me quickly show you the last one, and then we will switch to Q&A. That will be the last demo. So I'm going back to this playground. Let me clear. I don't even need to clear that, so let's keep it. And let me add my own data. I will add data source. So the only thing I would like to tell that for this, I don't want to show you my how's it called? My machine. Hey, come on. Upload files. What else I missed here? I see, it's just thinking. I need to give a name for the index because I will add the knowledge base from the file. It's not that bad, but I was thinking longer than expected. So what I would like to do, I would like to upload new file with information about Netcat and where in the file I'm going to say that Netcat is safe. We use this tool all the time. That's our corporate normal tool, and so forth. So in that case, and we'll see how the AI should give a different response. That's weird. Let me restart the process because it shouldn't be that long. So let me choose my okay, so for some reasons it's not working. It's not working. So that's it. Okay, so then for the sake of time, we need to have Q&A. So I will not show you this one, but general idea that we need to deploy some kind of knowledge base and the tool that will go through this knowledge base. In my case, it's I'm using search service. That will also make us additional money, and it will just go through your knowledge base and to find out the data related to the user prompt, and pick up this data and send it together with the user prompt to LLM. And so as the result, the response might be improved. So for example, let me just don't use don't use data, but I just I will just try something like this. Let's try it manually. I will use the same incident information, but also I will add the phrase in the end. In our company, Netcat is legit tool. Let me also add a line break here. Legit tool. Admins use it on the daily basis to perform network like transfer, whatever. So let me send that, and let's see if the response will be different from AI. And look at this. So now it says no, you don't need to isolate because this tool is legit. And if we have our knowledge base with this information will be also added automatically to the main prompt, and it might affect the decision of the model. If you're a pen tester and you would like to use AI for processing the data, security copilot, could it be an option? It's not really for pen test, to be fair. So it's more about your SOC operations. So it's for blue teaming rather than red teaming. So for pen testers, there is a kind of well-known tool. I mean, the most simple tool called SGPT. You might heard of this SGPT. That's where we also use the models from OpenAI, or you can also host them in Azure, and you can use them together with your tools, and so you can just with SGPT you can describe what do you want. You would like to scan port something like port for web server of this address, and so you explain in natural language what do you want, and then this SGPT will translate it into so it will send all the stuff to the model translated into the commands, and it can even run those commands. So that's the kind of like a known tool for the pen testers. There are also a number of services that will we use AI as well with a perform a pen test. So you may find a number of them. I'm not sure if it makes sense to advertise, because they are paid services. But not Security Copilot is more for your SOC operations, with like investigate incidents, find out, reverse engineer the scripts, but not the pen test, but not for the red teams. I would say nowadays AI become more. I mean, in this year, like last year, AI became more like sorted compared to year 23rd and 24th, when we had like a large hype, and AI and two letters AI were added everywhere because it was just everywhere. Now companies have more experience with AI, and they understand better what it is and the place of AI in their business. So yeah, of course we use AI on a daily basis, but AI is not a silver bullet, and it will not solve all your problems. But yeah, more or less we will use AI. More and more we use AI, and as those AI agents and AI applications become more powerful. So yeah, nowadays you should not avoid AI completely, but don't think of this like a silver bullet that will do all the work for you or instead of you. There are a few things you can do. When it comes to Security Copilot that knows about your data, it will look at the number of things. It will look not only to single script, it will look also on the previous logs, previous alerts, and based on that, it will be able to, based on the data process, it will be able to understand, or at least make assumptions that this is false positive or true positive. Because again, if that was alert first, or some kind of MITRE attack tactics, and then this script, there's a higher chance that it's like that's the true positive rather than some just legit tool. That's the first thing. Also, what you can do, you can upload your own data, where you can tell, like I showed before with Netcat. I tried to show you, sorry. Like I showed before with Netcat, that you can just tell this tool is legit, so we use it on a daily basis. That's fine. Don't flag and so on. So we can also create our own knowledge base where we can mark something like where you post information as legit. I use what is called logic ops. Just in case, so for those who may fully understand the question, SOAR means the automated response. So how did I create this workflow? In other words, so workflow I create in Azure. It's logic op, called logic op in Azure. But again, you're free to use whatever you like. You can use different automation tools like JFrog, or whatever you prefer. But whatever you usually use to automate the process. First, let me answer on the first part, which will be easier. But then second part about AI measurement, it's always complicated, not only in security, but in general in the company level. So what kind of risk it mitigate? It gives a quick response, because we have the incident. Then analyst needs to analyze that and make a decision if it's true positive or false positive. Then decide if we need to contain the device or not. So it will take time, especially if there's not 24/7. Usually large SOCs, they have 24/7, but anyway. So here AI will work 24/7, react immediately, and much faster than human can do it. That's what we can do. That's the benefit. About the measurement, that's the hardest part of AI in general, because how much money AI save to you, how much value AI brings compared to with AI, without AI? That's the hard question for business in general, not only in security. I would say nowadays companies quite often wants to be AI enabled, and they want to show that they use AI as one of the metrics they have. So you may consider it like this if you don't want to make any complicated calculations. My message is always the same, is to go to hands-on. So all the webinars and things that we learn, they are good, but it really makes sense when you really start doing this. Not just become smarter after another session, but we give you some motivation to try something new. So do it, like a Nike.